All right, we are talking 5-6A with Denton Geyer head coach Reed Heim and coach. That district was so I don't even want to say top heavy because it was good from top to bottom pretty much last year, and a lot of teams got hit with graduation, so it feels like it's kind of wide open this year. How do you feel going into your second year here at 5-6A before we hit realignment again, as far as the competition and how you guys think about getting the district title?
Well, I think that you hit the nail on the head. You've got a bunch of really, really good teams, and one of the unique things is just how close everybody is, right? So it's not that all the teams are in the same district. There's two from Denton. You got Little Elm, which is its own one high school town. You got Coppell, and then you got the Flower Mound or the Louisville schools, and it's a really deep, very talented, well coached district. I've really enjoyed last season. Playing against those guys, I think there's a bunch of great football staffs, obviously a bunch of really good players. And when you have the programs that you have in our district, that you're going to have seniors that graduate, but generally speaking, those guys they've got kids that have come up through the program that are working their tails off this summer and had good off season. So we fully anticipate it being a heck of a challenge this season in that district. And as they say the same thing, we'll roll the ball out on Friday nights and give it our best shot. And we've got some talented guys. We've got some hungry guys. I'm excited about the season. But this district absolutely prepares you to play in the playoffs because, week in and week out, you're playing playoff quality caliber teams.
Yeah, and that goes for the non-district too. It's not like you put yourself a nice little slouchy non-district
No,
schedule.
it's a good one too, but it's good for us, and it's good for Texas high school football. When you're playing Aledo, Arlington Martin, and North Crowley in your non-district. I mean, those are great programs. Two of them are year in year out are to be playing for state championships. We hope to be doing the same thing. And then Arlington Martin has been a consistent winner for the last 2 decades. I mean, it's a really good. It's a good overall schedule. I mean, it's tough, and it'll be great for our fans, great for Texas high school football fans. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I got you prepared for 4 rounds of the playoffs because you may not have won the district. You lost a couple of the non-district games, but it built you up for a longer playoff run. And like you say, you're not rebuilding, you're reloading, and you're reloading at several positions here on the offensive side of the ball. But you also have some guys coming back. I love your receiving core. We were talking a little bit about Zephyr stepping in for Sperry. Talk about the offensive side of the ball and how you guys. I think you'll handle things this fall.
I think that we'll definitely be different. Kevin was really a good runner, thrower as well, a very dynamic guy, and I think Zephyr is different, but he is extremely arm talented. He is a willing, tough runner. Our guys really get behind him. He's got some innate leadership qualities about him. And he's a competitor, and that's what made Kevin great too. And if you're going to be, QB1 at a place like Geyer, or really for that matter, any other 6A program, you've got to have some moxie. You have to have something about yourself, and I think that Zephyr has that. He's had a great offseason. He's 6'4" plus. He's about 220. Somewhere right around there. Looks like $1 million. We do have some very talented wide receivers and. In guys like Corbin Glasgow, who's a sub 1100 guy. We've got a young guy named Tristan Shelton, who's really talented. Obviously, DJ Reese was the offensive player or offensive newcomer of the year in our district last year. And then we've got some other young guys. Carter Morgan is a guy that showed flashes at wide receiver. He's also a quarterback. He's talented. So Xander Elliott. There's a bunch of guys that have had good offseason. Offensive line wise, we'll have a couple guys coming back. Our center Navarez, he will be back. Juan Castaneda is a guy who played a lot of quality reps for us last year. Cooper Kelly is the guy that played a lot of reps last year that's coming back, and we'll have a couple of young guys that those Devereaux, who played a guard last year, is going to play some tackle this year. And then Preston Doyle, who is another young guy. So there's some quality, and there's a couple with too many to list. There's some younger guys that I think will have a chance to compete So, and at the H-back position, you've got a multi tight end H-back. You got a multi-star, multi-positional guy like Zane Rowe, Carson McClinton. There's a young man that plays some defense and offense as well. That's an H-back named Schmeckel. Like there's some Matthew Schmeckel. There's some talent there. I'm excited about our offense.
Yeah, and then you flip defensively. It seems like you got a couple guys there that don't want to come off the field. You just talked about Zane Rowe on offense, and he's a monster on defense as well. You got Caden Cobb there too. Talk about your defensive side of the ball and what kind of studs you have there.
I think that anytime you have an opportunity to return 8 guys that started for you, the year before, you've got a chance to be good. And I'm excited. They did a great job last year. But I think that anytime you get another offseason under your belt, you take 14 games of experience and you roll it out there and you battle your tails off on Friday night, like with guys that have been in there, who have been in hard games, that have played top level competition. You should set yourself up to be pretty good defensively. I think our defensive line is absolutely a strength of our defense, with Zane and Kyron Haywood, who's a baller. There's another young man named Darian Neal who just picked up TCU, SMU, and UTSA in the last 12 hours at our nose guard position. And then Jalen Lawson is a returning guy that played a lot of snaps, 6'1", 220. And then you got a young guy like Logan Loki. If you recognize the last name, his dad was a really good player at the University of Texas in the early 2000s. So we feel really good about that. At the linebacker position, we have 3 guys there. A guy named Ryder Garcia, who's currently committed to Air Force. He's 6'2", 225, 230, incredibly productive player. There's another young man, Caleb Fowler, he's got offers from multiple Division II, FCS, and a couple of FBS programs. And then you have our third safety, kind of our hybrid safety linebacker, Jalen Sterling, and he's a multi-offer guy as well. He's had an incredible offseason. Went from 185 to 205, looks like $1 million. And then you go into the secondary, you got returning starters like Caden Cobbs, who's a multi-year starter, Owen Whistler, who started last year, Jace Johnson, who started last year at one of our corners. The other corner spot is there. AJ Moss and Grant Hatfield are battling it out there. And I think there's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of guys that are hungry. And I expect for us to play good defense and really shine on that side of the ball when we need to do that.
Well, it's going to be a fun year. You're going to be in another competitive district. Obviously, I haven't made the schedule out this early in the year, but I can't find another game on the schedule that would not be game of the week 1, than you guys heading up to Aledo. So it's going to be a fun ride, and I appreciate you joining me, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for taking time to interview us and brag about our program. I enjoy. This is a great place, and we appreciate all the work you do to help highlight the young men in our program. Thank you so much.
No problem, Coach.